All right, guys. So tonight we are going to talk about the mindset. I know. We've heard about this 100 times. But I hope that tonight I will share a little bit that maybe kind of like challenges your thinking a little bit, or maybe something that you haven't heard before. So, mindset is something that really determine can really determine our success or our failures. It really does all start in your mind. And something that I have learned, and if you've been doing this for a while, you know this too. Um, in the beginning, we have to teach people how to have the right mindset. It is something that does not come naturally to a lot of women, and that actually makes me really, really sad. That we live in a world where women have to relearn how they think. Um, we will come in contact with a lot of women who don't think that they can be successful, who don't think they're worthy, who don't think they deserve to be successful, who just simply do not believe in themselves. Women that are afraid to be in front of the camera, that are afraid of like putting their makeup on a certain way. They're afraid of saying something wrong. They're afraid of comments they might get. There's a lot of fear in this business. And that's really the main reason why people don't do it. So it's our job to help people to debunk those fears and myths, and this applies to people in our team, but also to our customers and our own selves and our potentials. So it's something that we can work on, and we can share our journey with others as we're working on that within ourselves. And that becomes really, really special, and you can inspire so many people that way. So I would encourage you guys this week. If you have a piece of paper, write down a list of, I don't want to say lies you tell yourself, but a list of things, thoughts that you have as they come into your mind this week. It might be nobody's liking this post. Like, should I take it down? It might be, I want to post, but I don't have anything to say. Um, it might be, I'll never hit platinum status. I'll never fill in the blank. It could be something that's deeper than that, something that's more personal, something like, um, I'm too blank, and maybe you have like some insecurities that surround like your personality, or for me, my weight has been a big, like insecurity for me my entire life. So it could be, um, I'm too much for some people, or I'm not enough for some people. I'm not, um, I don't know enough. All of these types of like, we, some people call them reasons, some people call them excuses, whatever, but they are obstacles that you feel you have. I want you to write all of those down that come to your mind as they do this week. You can put them in the note section of your phone, um, and or on a piece of paper if you're more of a pen and paper girly. And I just want you to start thinking about those things. Um, as you're sorting through these, we can make posts about these things, and we can address people that have the exact same fears. So as you're typing out your content for your posts, I want you to always think about you're talking to one person, because you want your post to resonate with that one person. So like, for instance, you might say something like, maybe you've thought about doing this business with me, but you fear that people will have comments about your videos or your pictures. I actually had that thought this week too. And then I remembered my why. I remembered that I and this goes back to thinking about our why. I remembered that what's more important to me than the comments bothering me is being able to help hundreds of women. And I know that I have a choice. I'm faced with a choice. I can either let it hold me back and I cannot build my business for this fear, or I can help hundreds of women. And I know, and see, this is something that I've personally dealt with, you guys. I know that there are hundreds of women that would have never believed in themselves had I let those fears stop me. So you're not just holding yourself back, but all the women that you could impact. So I think that it would be really beneficial for you guys to start working through these like self-limiting beliefs and sharing that publicly so that people can go on this journey with you. And as you conquer your fears, you're helping them to do the same thing. It can just be really, really powerful. And it also creates trust because you are kind of like building a relationship with these people and showing them that you don't have to be perfect to do this. And you're working through your own crap just like they're working through their own crap. Like we are normal people, and normal people can do this business and can be successful. So that is just a little something something for you guys. I want you to kind of think through those things, and next week when we meet we can talk about some of these self-limiting beliefs that we all have. I am not excluded from this. We all have them, and we can kind of work through them together. And I would encourage you guys to all reach out to your sponsors too, um, to help you with some of those things, because sometimes it's just something you need to kind of talk yourself through. So, for instance, I have the thought, um, people are going to think, I think I say this one a lot, people are going to think I gained so much weight. Okay, that's a thought that I always, because my weight has fluctuated my whole life. People are gonna think and then I have to ask myself, okay, so what? Okay, so what if they do think that? And then I'm like, they're gonna think, and I'm like, I have to ask myself, like, why does that matter if they think that? And then I have to say, what if I show up anyway? What will that mean? Well, it'll mean to me that I didn't let something like that stop me. And what does that do for my confidence? As opposed to me sitting back, hiding, secluding myself, separating myself from my dreams. That has a terrible impact on my confidence because it just continues to result in, like, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. I can't be successful. People are going to think this, so I'm not going to post. So you're not successful because you're not doing it. Okay, so drop some hearts, guys. I know it's kind of hard on here, or just comment if you guys have heard about self-fulfilling prophecy, because that's something I want to talk about next. um Self-fulfilling prophecy is when you believe something, so it happens, and it's not really like we actually have that much control over our surroundings and our environment. It's like a research paper. Who's If you've ever written a research paper, let me know. So a research paper is when you have a thesis. The thesis is the thought, okay? And then you spend the whole research paper finding evidence to support that thought, okay? So if I'm going to use a couple examples here. If somebody comes into this business and they think, I'm going to fail. I'm not going to be successful. Maybe they think, people think direct sales are icky. I'm going to fail because of that, because people think direct sales are icky. Well, if they send out 10 messages and 2 people respond and 2 people join their team, they're going to focus on those 8 other people, and they're going to see, I knew it. I'm failing. 80% of the people that I messaged said they didn't want to do it. Maybe they didn't respond, and it's because direct sales are icky. And it's because, and also when they're posting, when they're showing up in their stories, they're showing up with that same energy and that same, bringing that to the table, instead of bringing excitement and that contagious joy and just look at what my team is doing, being excited over those two people that did join. Do you see the difference, you guys? It is huge. Your mindset will determine your success or your failure. You have to make up your mind. Am I going to be excited about the two people that join, or am I going to let those 8 people put me in a funk and make me start showing up in a negative way because I never really wanted this in the first place, or I never really believed I could. So it's scary to show up with confidence, so I'm just not going to do it. My brain is just trying to support that decision to protect me, because your brain is always in protective mode, and it's going to do whenever your brain senses something scary. You really have to kind of work really, really hard to shift your thinking, because our brain automatically wants us to like stay away from the scary thing, and it will make us like tell ourselves lies, and it will make us like, oh well, I can't do that because I can't do that, nobody wants to, da 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 da. And sometimes, you guys, we're not afraid of failure, we're afraid of being successful. Isn't that crazy? But it's the truth. It's the truth. And so the reason that I started off with knowing your why is because that is so closely related to this topic, and you're going to have to constantly balance all of those thoughts with your why. And if you have a strong enough why, it will shut these thoughts down every single time. I promise you that everybody on this call, you have a reason for being here, and you have a purpose. You showed up today, so you have a why. You put, whatever you were doing, you kept this time, set out this time, you showed up, you joined for $5 or $20 or whatever you joined for. There are reasons that you're here. And I believe, I mean, I know not everybody does, but I believe that there's a greater purpose, that we're all here as well. But you have to kind of dig deep sometimes and find that, and really think about that when you have those moments, so that your brain doesn't just try to support whatever thesis you have told yourself. So along with your why, along with these lies that we're telling ourselves, I really want you guys to think about, what narrative do I want to support with my thoughts this week? Do I want to support the thesis that is, I'm going to have a crappy month because it started off bad and I'm just, or I'm going to finish my month strong? Or, this might not be my month, but next month I'm going to kill it. And are you showing up with that energy of, I'm going to kill it, I'm going to crush this? I just really want you guys to kind of start thinking about that. As you do that, it's kind of like a therapeutic activity, because for me, the first couple of times I did this, I wrote down my thoughts for 90 days, you guys. I wrote down my thoughts for 90 days that I was having. And it really was a depressing thing to do, because I realized, like, dang, I'm a negative person. No wonder I'm not showing up and getting the results I want, because when I have these thoughts, then I have these actions. And when I have these actions, I don't get the results I want. So, how do you change it? You change the thought, and then you show up differently. And when you show up differently, you get different results. So, I hope this was helpful. I'm going to stop recording if I can figure out how to, and then we will do some more questions.